shepherds we shall be. For thee, my lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. Our feet may swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow a river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. Nomine Patri et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
Hey guys, we just watched... What's the movie called?
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints! That is it!
You
I
should
am...
know this. You requested it.
Yes, I did. I am on the ball today. We have Christian and Katie and me, the idiot who can't remember what movie he requested.
Yep.
But we watched it. I think it was awesome, and... But yeah, let's start off. The movie's Boondock Saints. It's about a pair of really broke-ass Irish brothers in, like, kind of the late 90s, I think. I think it was made in 1999, right? Yeah. Made in 1999, two broke-ass Irish brothers in Boston, like, living in illegal tenement housing, and shit goes down, realize, we don't like the mob fucking up our bar. We also don't like them in general. Let's just kill them all. So, great premise for a movie. If you don't know, Norman Reedus plays the younger brother. I don't actually know either of their first names. I know it starts with an N or an M.
All right. I have it here. It is. Connor and Murphy.
Murphy is Norman Reedus plays
Yeah.
Murphy. But either way, we kind of talked about the plot of the movie. A couple Irish brothers go in, wreck house. But before we kind of go in and talk more about it, I think the main purpose of this movie is the characters. So I'm going to throw that at Katie.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're on the spot.
I didn't realize I was catching that particular ball.
No. It's all random here. Throwing shit out.
Surprise.
Okay.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay, well, obviously huge cast of characters, huge focus on it. Of course, we've got the two brothers that basically play off each other very, very well because they're really good at what they do, but it's almost by accident a lot of the time, up until basically once David Del Rocco shows up and, like, fucks all their shit. Like, it's sort of like, it's going really well, and then he's just like, let's join the team, and then that drunken night, ever since, from the cat onwards.
Yeah, the cat. Let's leave it at the cat.
That cat was an omen right there.
Yeah, that cat was a bit of an omen. I say let's maybe mention that after spoiler warning, but that cat...
See, that's why I just said the cat, if nothing else.
That cat. Oh my god, I loved that cat.
And then, of course, we've got Agent Paul Smecker, played by Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting character in and of himself.
Yeah.
I've never really seen him play a dandy before, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
A disturbed alcoholic dandy.
Yeah.
Very not afraid to cross-dress.
Yeah, like, for me personally, the characters, those particular characters, like the brothers, David Del Rocco being sort of the asshole that messes everything up, Paul Smecker, and then, of course, the badass at the end there. You don't really see, like, comedian Billy Connolly doing too much badass stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Something that
Billy
I read...
motherfucking Connolly.
Yes, Billy Mother. Yeah, but apparently, I read this on both TV Tropes and IMDb. Apparently, they had to put a big ass cigar in his mouth so many times because he was having so much fun playing the character that he would be smiling the whole time. They're like, "You need to do something with your mouth. Here, take this." So,
he did have a cigar, didn't he? Yeah,
especially during the shootout, apparently. And
God,
so
that was a good scene.
that's sort of what carried it along for me, was definitely the characters. Like, the plot, a little hard to follow at times. You had seen when we were watching the thing that I had gotten a couple characters mixed up now and again.
Yeah, that's all right. I forget exactly what you got mixed up, but it wasn't a big thing.
Yeah. But yeah, the extremely colorful cast. Although, I have to be the one to say this. I kind of, like, I hate to be this person, but lack of ladies, other than, like, a boob.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the boob was the
That's very
main
true.
female cast in the movie, was just a lone...
A single boob.
Single boob.
1.5.
And 2 hookers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there weren't female characters. I don't think it was... Like, I think if they shoehorned it in, if they were, 15 years ahead of their time and decided to
Yeah.
shoehorn in a female character, it would have been weird.
This was like late 90s, so like, I mean,
they already put the gay guy and 2 gay guys in bed. Like, they can only go so far with being...
Yes, but on that note, they also had the gay guy insulting people by calling them fags.
Like, 'cause that was the main bit of the movie.
Yeah, I did admire the 2 main characters' sort of ideology in how they treat people who they believe are evil. It was odd because they had such a high moral code, yet that moral code allowed them to kill people that had no moral code at all.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I really did like what those 2 characters brought in, sort of analyzing the death sentence versus no death sentence and stuff like that, especially at the end with the credits. Like, that was really cool to watch. How they had all these interviews with people saying, yeah, I agree with what they're doing, and no, are you crazy? What are you talking about? You don't know, you're stupid. Yeah.
It's like, no, LaQuisha, your mom might see this.
Yeah. So, like, in the end, I'd say it didn't really give any solid answer to either way, but it just sort of left people to think about it. I thought Paul Specker's character was interesting. He was really out there, and I enjoyed watching it. It was pretty good. I thought it was very interesting that he was converted in the end. I don't know. And even after he sort of went back to his own job after killing someone, and I wonder if he thinks that was a mistake. He doesn't believe he can follow that, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Well, he does, like, he goes back to his job, and you see at the end of the movie, like, even Greenlee and the 2 other idiot cops kind of join in, and they're all like together. But I think for me, like, I loved all the characters and the brothers especially.
Yeah,
I think Rocco was a bit over the top, but like, he did his character well, even though he wasn't my favorite character. I think actually, although I think one of my biggest, and this kind of comes into segueing to the whole writing and like directing part of it. I feel like they should have explained a bit more. Maybe it would have made more sense if they put in the part with their mother. If they explained why, like, I guess, their mother wanted us to be smart, whatever, but why they knew Spanish and why they knew Russian and all this stuff. Like, they were Catholic boys growing up in Ireland, but still, you don't learn Russian.
But, like, I honestly kind of like the fact that they left that sort of in the dark, because it just shows that there's more to the characters that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So it just makes them more whole to me.
Yeah. I think, except for that, the only thing that, I don't know if this bugged you guys, but the only thing that bugged me just a tiny bit is that, the idea is they're completely green. They don't know what they're doing. They're smart guy, but it never was really shown or said that they got any kind of firearms training. Every other time they kill someone, really, it's clear they're pretty green. Like, they walk into a room and just shoot everyone. That's fair. The first time, Charlie Bronson, fan-fucking-tastic, when they get the guns and the whole rope and everything. But they fall through the ceiling. And somehow, while dangling by their legs, they have, like, perfect posture. And they're, like, shooting guys while spinning upside down. I feel like a couple bullets should have missed. Like, at least one guy didn't fully die until they had to execute him, but I don't know.
In that whole sort of where they all collect the guns in that scenes, though, and they're playing with the guns and they're talking about them, like, you can tell that they know something about those kinds of firearms, though.
Yeah.
Like, just the way they're handling them and stuff. It doesn't seem like a newbie handling them. They may be new at killing people, but they're probably not new at holding guns and shooting them.
Actually, here's a good place to put spoiler warning. From this point on, spoilers, be warned. When the Italian mob brings out Il Duce, Billy Connolly's character, to go kill to kill Rocco, because they don't realize it's the brothers. They bring him out, and he's, like, being sentenced, and they stamp his, like, release paper. I paused it, and Katie, you remember this, because you and I watched together. I paused it, and it said IRA affiliations. So these brothers came and were born in Ireland, and raised in Ireland, and their father was in the IRA. And at the end of the movie, they're talking to them, and it is their dad, Billy
Yeah.
Connolly is their dad, who's been gone for like years. So clearly they were like, when they were young, they had ties and they were raised in this like Northern Ireland kind of rebellious era. So I think that is kind of part and parcel where they came from, and possibly why they were so poor is because they came to Ireland, or they came to Boston with a bunch of like Irish immigrants and had nothing because they were leaving Ireland because of all the fighting and stuff. But that would explain how they knew the Irish guy and how they knew everything else like that. So they did kind of give a bit of backstory, but not too much. Like they hid it in places. I liked that.
Yeah, little pockets, not like full-on exposition, just like you see it and you feel it and you don't necessarily get it told to you. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like the way we realize these guys are poor, it shows us the apartment. Like
Yeah, they have a toilet that's just sitting there. They have showers that are just hung off the wall. And even the cop said it's illegal tenement housing.
Yeah, I feel like that might almost be a good sort of transition into memorable moments, because the toilet.
That was one of your memorable moments?
Hell yeah! Like, I love memorable moments like that start near the beginning of the movie, because then you're like, oh, this is the kind of movie I'm watching, and it's just like slow-mo toilet over things.
I will completely
pulls
agree
it out
with
of
you
the wall,
there.
and I'm like, holy shit.
It's not just that, you can see that it's like, holy shit, this is like a serious thing.
Yeah.
Because he is handcuffed to the back of this toilet and he's ripping it out of the floor, and the handcuffs are tight. It is ripping his skin off, like possibly almost dislocating his hands.
Yeah, the fact that the handcuffs were like tougher than the toilet shows you how bad their plumbing was.
Very true.
Like, I don't personally know which one would like.
Well, yeah, I don't like. You'd have to actually go test. Would handcuffs break? I don't think they would, because I would think they would have decent handcuffs.
Yeah, but like, I feel like we're that sort of an average person, you would be pretty much stuck there. But no, he just tears it right fucking out.
Yeah,
goes to the rooftop and then just boom.
While ripping out half the skin on his arms and like bleeding
like
everywhere.
he has the bandages and stuff later. I'm not saying it was easy. I said it happened.
Yeah. What about you, Christian? Favorite moments? Or most memorable?
I really like the scene where I can't remember their names. It was at the house. It was after the Willem Dafoe's character's telling the story of what happened. This is the scene where he shouts, "There was a firefight."
Yes.
I really liked how they did that. So that was very memorable, as well. Willem Dafoe dressing up in drag. So that was that was good too.
I feel like he did a good job around the eyes, but you really cannot disguise
his face. That bone structure does not scream woman.
Like he walks into the only guy who would like, yep, lady.
Yeah, that guy was clearly the most desperate of all of them. He was the awkward buddy of the group. He's like, yeah, sure. Let's go to the bathroom. Let's go in the bathroom. Sure.
Yeah.
But,
later on, he gets up too far. It's like, did you go too far, or did he go too far? You were lying on the ground and friggin', oh god.
Yeah, like I saw this movie for the first time in, I believe, grade between 7 and the beginning of grade 9. Like early, about I couldn't have been more than 13. So while I'm not I guess biased in any way or homophobic, I was 13, and none of us had really been exposed to the world at that point.
Right.
So you can kind of think of how I'm like
what
I don't know how to perceive what's happening in front of me. Because this dude dressed as a woman is making out with this dude and then lying on the floor and then murdering him. And then when he screams after shooting him, his face like jiggles. It was weird. It was pretty weird. But I think going in the idea of most memorable / making and breaking the movie moments, when Willem Dafoe gets drunk off his ass, stumbles to the church, and Rocco is saying we should kill him at this point because shit's going down. We should kill the cop. The brothers are saying no, don't do it. All of a sudden, Willem Dafoe in one stall, preacher, Rocco grabs him. The other guy goes from through the other screen and is like, if you fucking do anything, you're dead.
I love the deliberate sort of picking at the screen before he grabs him. It's like they keep the conversation going, just like keeping the guy alive, and he just sort of like reaches through at the right moment. It just holds Rocco like, you asshole.
Yeah. It was definitely the moment that was the way it was done, I think, was really important to how it developed, because it could have been really easy to fuck up showing how the characters, the cops changed heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, favorite moments before we finish. Cat. But I've shown that clip so many times because it really is one of my favorite parts of that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Norman
didn't so
Reedus
much.
shouting, "Did that happen?"
It's like,
Yeah.
that just fucking happened.
Yeah.
It's like, is it dead? What?
Yeah.
whole,
Is it?
like-
That's the line that got me. Is it dead?
Yeah.
Probably. Guts.
The fucking exploded cat carcass and blood on the wall.
Yeah.
Rocco's that whole scene was phenomenal.
Yeah. I didn't really so much freak the fuck out as I was just like, well, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Even on
And
top.
at first I thought it was Rocco's finger because he did,
I
like,
know.
the gunshot was close to his hand, and I was like, is that his blood? And then he was shouting swear words, so I'm like, maybe that got him. And then his hand was okay, and I was like, what just happened? We rewound it, played it through again. I'm like, fuck, that was the cat. Like, Jesus. Part of the reason why it was included is just because the director hated cats.
Maybe. How about you, Christian? Favorite moment?
I did like the funny man scene where he goes in and he has to tell that really awkward, long, racist joke. I liked watching that because that was pretty hilarious and awkward.
Well, and
Yeah.
And then he just wanted a Coke at the end, and I was just like,
Favorite moment?
One moment that I do sort of want to highlight, like the whole firefight moment. So when he pulls out the gun and starts shooting up, I can just imagine like his cop buddies going, "Is he wasting? Should we write this down?"
I know.
Yeah. And we frame by framed it, and you can actually see the guy in the middle, like the chubby guy, just looking at him like, the
Like, what the
fuck is
fuck?
going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
but,
is
like,
he shooting his gun in the air?
Yeah. See, this is why I'm wondering whether or not he actually pulled the gun.
I don't think he
Because,
did.
like, he.
I think
Yeah.
it sort of, I think it sort of represents how into it he gets to figure out what
Yeah,
the story
like-
is.
Yeah.
It's a
maybe.
good moment in that, and maybe it shows his
Yeah.
passions changing. And
Yeah.
so, like, that's just like a couple scenes before he gets drunk, goes to the thing, and they have that whole church.
So you think it's all
situation.
in his head? Like, he does this in
Yeah.
his head. But otherwise,
Yeah,
he's just
maybe
standing there
not-
talking about it, getting really out of breath.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, like, instead of actually pulling out the gun and firing, he was just sort of miming it. Because he was basically, when we cut back to him, he's still fraggled as hell on his knees.
And we've seen
So-
him mime stuff before. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we got a cowboy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I actually hadn't thought of that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I'd have to say that was probably my favorite moment because even when he goes inside and they show him everyone shooting up the what was a gambling, just like a poker night
yeah,
or
like
something.
the guy's back room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When one of the brothers like went down on his knees slow mo, right next to him, they showed Willem Dafoe's character doing it as well, and they both were so
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah, that leaves
So-
there.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, and he just had his fingers
Chunk,
out.
chunk,
He was just
yeah.
going like that.
Yeah. I like a lot of Smecker's summations, like especially that one where he was following along with as it was going
Yeah.
on. It's like this woman got tased, poof, she's tased, and like, yeah,
Going
yeah.
along, the entire film, I felt, especially with like its sort of segmented editing kind of thing.
Yeah.
After every like episode or scene, you would have a fade out, and then it'd be quite a while, like a fade out to black, and then black fade in.
Yeah.
A lot. So it just reminded me of like I was watching some sort of play, and Smecker was sort of like that narrator, that one who comes out of the
like
story
the
and
chorus,
tells
like the Greek chorus.
and tells me, hey, this is what's happening and stuff like that. So out of the whole movie, I had probably the biggest connection with him because he was almost directly talking to us.
Wrapping up a bit, I would like to go into final thoughts. My final thought was, and I have it in the thumbnail down below of this picture of the two, you guys can't see it, but the two brothers, you got the prayer, and it's the Actus Veritas, their prayer they say before they ever execute someone. And
Right.
that as like, it's a small touch, air quotes, but it's also a huge part of the movie.
Yeah.
It shows their religion, it just gives it this feel and the gravity of what they're doing, and I really liked it. But
Yeah.
any final quick thoughts so we can jump to rating? Oh my god, I saw the Rotten Tomatoes rating. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I know. I saw it before.
Let's.
That's not. It shouldn't deserve that.
I feel like the credits were particularly effective because it shows that like even the people making the film are sort of on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the actual people that they got to do that were kind of interesting. Like, I'm gonna go out and do that myself. Like,
Yeah.
and he's just like this 35-year-old, sort of somewhat obese, glasses, bespectacled.
Yeah. Going on to ratings, as much as I love this movie, I'm going to actually let's start with IMDb. That's what it's called. IMDb gives it, and this is the picture-in-picture here. IMDb gives it a 7.9 out of 10. I liked it. I like that. But
Yeah.
then we go to a rating which is kind of surprising when you click on it now. But boom, Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, I guess the critic rating was a 20% approval, and an average rating of 4.2 out of 10. That's 25 ratings, so 5 fresh, 20 rotten.
Yeah, so if anything describes sort of a love it or hate it kind of film, it seems to be
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, the tagline right underneath it was a juvenile, ugly movie that represents the worst tendencies of the director channeling Tarantino. And I think that was a absolute load of crap, seeing as you look next to it, and the average user ratings of 333,000 actually users gave it a average rating of 4.2 out of 5, a 91% approval rating. My rating, in my heart rating, it's a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I have the poster right there. I'm pointing at it. Like, in actuality, I'd give it a 9 or an 8.5 because there were a couple things that I think kind of were weird about it. Like, some things didn't have to be done, so on and so forth. But I'd say I give it a 9 out of 10. Katie, how about you?
So I guess I tend to vote things kind of harshly because I can see a lot of the films that even I like falling under sort of the 5 area.
Yeah.
That said, I'd put this probably a solid. Are we allowed to use decimals?
Yes, you feel
Yeah.
free to use decimals, like even 8.2
Okay.
or 6.4 and a half.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 6.7. Honestly, because I really enjoyed it, but I did find like a good number of things sort of problematic for me
So that's up.
personally.
You're
So-
are rating harshly then. All right. Christian.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Katie. Christian, you are up.
I don't know. I was completely alienated by the camera work and the editing at first, but as that went on, I totally
Yeah.
I understood it. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
All right, we got a 9, a 6.7, and a 7.5. So on average, that would be a 7.7. I think that's a fair rating.
Yeah, I
pretty
think
good.
so.
It is highly rated by me, one of my favorite movies of all time. But at the same time, I can definitely see why some people wouldn't be in love with it.
Yeah.
But I enjoy myself. I think I'm guessing you guys did too, and I guess we will see you next time. I'm waving at the camera. Let's all wave
Okay.
at the camera. Bye.